I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Yes. We are back here at AfterBuzz TV. We're talking Stumptown, episode 15, At All Costs, the Conrad Costas Chronicles. Unfortunately, we weren't here last week, so we're covering last week's episode, and I'm alone. But if you're in the live chat, please give us a, like us, share with your friends and family, subscribe, but also comment with us. Give us your questions. We'd really appreciate it. And also give us that 5-star review on iTunes. And if you do, we might just shout you out on the after show here at AfterBuzz TV. So I'm your host, Ollie Drennan. Unfortunately, thank you. Like I said, I'm your host, Ollie Drennan. Unfortunately, I'm solo. Like I said, my wonderful panel, Rachel and Latoya, are unfortunately booked and busy at the moment. So go show them some love on social media, and they will be back next week for another amazing episode of Stumptown. But for now, yes, I know they're more popular than me, people, but calm down. You have me, who is also not as great, but I'm here to break down this show from last week, because I really like this episode. I thought it was a great episode. Initial thoughts. I really like the fact that these characters, clearly the show's set in Portland, Oregon, and yet these characters are heading over to LA where, it's so easy to ghost people in LA, and there's just a huge ghosting culture here in LA. However, I think what's cool about this particular storyline with these characters is that they're not getting ghosted from significant others or any type of romantic relationships or hookups or whatnot. They're getting ghosted and estranged from their family members, so like their parents and whatnot. And I think that's something that is very, I think it's almost taboo kind of thinking about it right now as an adult in 2020, because we have so many things that connect us, such as social media and technology, but it still happens in this day of age. And I think we forget, we're so drawn to some of our technology and like I said, our social media, but people still can be estranged, and not everyone uses technology and Facebook and whatnot. You can still be ghosted by everyone. So keep that in mind. It just is really sad for characters like Dex and Gray. But on a lighter note, we do have characters such as Ansel and Tookie who do have more lighthearted arcs, which we need to kind of diverge from some of the more darker, sadder storylines, yet are very meaningful at the same time. So why don't we get on to our first topic? Because speaking of Tookie and Ansel, they had a wonderful, fun, not as important as some of the other storylines, but they had a fun storyline with Hoffman. It's Hoffman's mom's birthday, so of course, why not throw a wonderful birthday bash at the Bad Alibi while Dex and Gray are out of town at LA. And, Hoffman's kind of been going through this whole interesting storyline with his dad. He's making a case against his dad. He's, sold the media some stories against his dad. So clearly he wants to have a good birthday celebration for his mom, which was really interesting because when we fast forward, jumping ahead, Lionel, Hoffman's dad, wasn't there. Correct me if I'm wrong. I did not see him at all in this episode. Where was he for his wife's birthday? Did I miss something? I don't know. If someone fill me in, please. But Octavia is actually Hoffman's mom's name, and they ended up being a really great birthday celebration presented by Tookie and Ansel. That was awesome. Of course, there was some kind of uninvited drunk guest entertainment, so not everything went 100%. I'd say a good 95%, because there was a guest who was super drunk. He tried to entertain, and he just was plastered and passed out, but it was entertaining to me, so, happy birthday, Octavia. You did a great job raising your son, Hoffman. I was expecting more from Hoffman in this episode, but we did get another arc kind of jumping off from this storyline. Tookie and Ansel were very successful in the birthday celebration. They made the bar a lot of money. However, there was a little scare because Gray's prized possession of his gun that's worth $22,000, which was kind of been in his family for a really long time, was missing. And yeah, it was missing. And I got scared too, because I'm like, oh great, when Gray comes back, he is going to roast Tookie like some kind of enchilada or something. I don't know. Tookie isn't going to be in hot water, okay? And lo and behold, it was the gun was in the safe the entire time, and Gray put it in himself because he knew that there was going to be a birthday celebration. So So, I was expecting something darker or some kind of situation regarding that gun. Someone snuck in that from Gray's past, but it was just kind of like a little light heart attack. So everything's fine for now, at least for now, until they return from LA, so.
By the way, Oliver, just before you go on, this is Vito from the booth.
Hi,
I just wanted to
Vito.
shout out real quick. ER's grandpa is in the chat, and ER says, good pun with Rachel booking something. Get it? Because she's an author.
Oh.
And then he also says, good point about Papa Hoffman at Ollie. So good job.
Thank
you,
you.
ERs, for stopping by.
Oh my gosh, thank you, ER's grandpa. And thank you for being patient with this after show, because it should have been on Wednesday. But I was not here and everyone else was booked and busy. And shout out to Rachel and shout out to LaToya again, because we really miss them. They'll be back, like I said, next week. But thank you again. Keep chatting with us. Give us your input, your questions, your theories, your comments, anything I've missed, because, I'm only one person. I'm only one dude, okay? So anyways, there wasn't a whole lot left to that storyline, except I'm going to actually save that for a special segment. Yes, because, I want to say it right now, but I'm saving it for the special segment. And, if you want to know what else I have to say, stay tuned towards the end of this after show. So let's get on to more of our juicier, meatier topics of this episode. We're going to start off with Gray, because Gray. I don't know if Gray plays the drums, but...
It was more of a joke on the meteor thing, because Stumptown and food,
Oh, okay. Well, I'm stupid and didn't get that joke.
No,
but
it's okay. I tried.
Thank you, Vito. Someone got that joke other than me. So thank you, Vito. You're amazing. Speaking of Gray, he helps Dex go to LA. Dex doesn't want to drive to LA. Well, I mean, she does drive to LA, but she doesn't want to drive to LA alone, and she's not going to fly. I don't know if she's afraid of flying, but it's actually cheaper to drive, even though it's actually safer to fly, according to statistics. But I digress. They make it to LA. Gray's whole thing about going to LA is because he wants to get his car. It is a 1973 Dodge Challenger, and, he had so many good memories with this car. He almost lost his virginity in this car. But he's a little triggered when he goes to retrieve the car, finds out the car was actually sold by his dad, McConnell. And McConnell, his dad, is still in LA. Gray's in LA. McConnell's in LA. Oh my gosh. Estranged family members. Mind you, his dad is estranged. So here we go with the whole estranged family member concept. His dad left him, and... Gray goes, he doesn't buy the car. He leaves the car at this moment, and he ends up going to confront his dad while driving Dex's car to Wilson Phillips' Hold On. Yes. Such a good song, and I thought it was so fitting to this particular arc with his father. And I think a lot of this episode was about confronting your past in order to move forward, and ultimately owning your past. Despite everything that happened, whether you've been wronged by someone that you thought you loved or cared about you, whatever, what have you, you really have to not necessarily thank that person, because I don't think Gray thanked his dad for leaving him, but ultimately all of these hardships, all this negativity that person may have brought, kind of in a sense made you stronger, and you have to thank that person for kind of making the person who you are today. Because I mean, Gray is really, despite him going to jail, okay, he went to jail, everyone, but he's been successful with the alibi, and I think he's a great person overall despite his shortcomings. And I think the reason why I think that is so important in this storyline, the whole theme of owning your past, is because what happened after confronting his dad, he ended up buying the car after all. He got the car at the end of the episode. You saw it when him and Dex went to the beach. He bought the car, and you saw Dex's car right next to his new 1973 Dodge Challenger. So I think that was kind of like a metaphor of literally owning your past, which he did. He ended up buying the car from the used salesman. So yes, it was a very touching scene. I really like the fact that it wasn't so emotional from either Gray or his father, because to me that just read so it just presented a really great sense of realism in that whole, wasn't really an argument that they were talking about. It was more so just him telling his dad how he felt. And I thought it was just really realistic from Jake Johnson, who plays Gray. And he was still holding so much back, yet he was still making such a huge progress, his character was, but just by simply going and confronting his dad, who he hadn't seen. And his dad ultimately, started a new family. His dad had a new son. Gray met his half brother, for crying out loud. And he met his stepmom because, he remarried as well. So it was definitely a lot of things that he was processing. And I feel like despite him not fully telling his dad everything and maybe showing all the emotions he may have wanted to show. I don't know if he wanted to actually yell or maybe punch his dad. Who knows? I don't support violence. Yet, it still was amazing for Gray to make that huge step, because it was a huge step regardless. And congratulations on getting your car back, Gray. So, moving on to Dex. Dex had to steal a script from a script stealer, because we meet a character named Camille, and she's this not so much up-and-coming writer, because she's she even tells Dex that she is a nobody. She doesn't have a family, she doesn't have kids, and the whole point of hiring Dex to get her script that was stolen was because this is her last attempt at, seeing her name up on the big screen in the credits. This is what she's been dreaming for. And it's so funny how Dex has to go to LA, where there is a shady side to the entertainment industry where things can be misconstrued and stolen, and kind of, people are forgotten sometimes. And I think that's another theme of this episode, was the fear of being forgotten, whether that's from the public, fans, whatnot, or family members that, leave you. So lo and behold, Camille makes a crack in Dex, and Dex feels sorry for her, and she says, you know what, I'm gonna go to LA and find out if this script is identical to Camille's that this dude stole from Camille. Quote unquote stole. But lo and behold, he actually did end up stealing it, because when Dex finally got the script from the scriptie, it was identical to Camille's script. So this guy is bad mama jamma. And Dex, confronts the dude, and she says Camille wants her name, she wants her credit because she's not getting paid. You're doing this out. She basically tells him, if we're gonna file a case if you continue on with the production of this. And of course, he ends up, making an agreement with Camille. But before everything went, happily ever after, Dex met this character, Freddie, who was the lead. He was the character of Conrad Costas, who's actually related to Camille. Camille wrote this about her family member. So many family members in this episode, so many family connections. But anyways, this man who's playing Conrad was actually kind of I'm trying to make a comparison to like a real life actor, but I don't want to say names. That kind of were super popular back in the day, but kind of had a falling out, kind of whether that was with like rehab. I don't want to say like Lindsay Lohan by any means. We love you, Lindsay, but he definitely had a falling out, definitely had, drug addiction, went to rehab, whatnot. And this is his last big chance of making a huge change in his life and whatnot by being a part of this film. So he's really closely attached to this film. Dex meets him, comes to find out that because of it possibly being shut down, he kind of comes back at Dex, and while Dex is in her hotel with Gray, he throws a Molotov cocktail through the window. And so Dex needs to track him down. She does at this one diner. He is not going down without a fight. He pulls out a gun at her. He does it very discreetly so no one else sees it. But, bro, dude, he's stopping at... He needs this part, okay? For sure, he needs this part. But, with the help of Greg called the cops on them, and it come to find out that gun was actually just a prop. But I bring up this storyline with this Freddie character, this troubled actor who's trying to, reclaim his fame, because he was talking to Dex, with the gun pulled to her, the fake gun. But he was afraid of being forgotten by the public. And I think that almost mirrored Dex's other storyline in this episode about her family, because her family, like Gray, is estranged from her. Their parents left her and Ansel. And she's kind of going through this struggle of being afraid as well of, how could people just stop loving me? How can people just forget about me? These are my family members, whereas, this Freddie is a little bit more superficial with it, with his fans and whatnot, that kind of forgot about him. And he just wants to be loved so much by the public. And of course, obviously, Dex, she wants to be loved by her family. So I definitely saw the mirroring of it. So I just definitely love that connection of just being, the fear of being forgotten. I thought that was very beautiful. And at first, I didn't think this episode going to LA was going to be that deep, but I really enjoyed it, and I'm super excited because this isn't the last episode that these characters are going to be in LA, because judging by the previews, these characters are still going to be in LA, so I'm here for it, but I'm going to get those predictions brewing. So stay tuned for the predictions for more LA adventures with Dex Perios. So it was nice, touching, happily ever after moment with Camille getting the rights to her screenplay and her proper credit and proper payment. So props on you, Camille, for sticking it to the man along with Dex. So we love you, Camille, and I'm excited to see the Conrad Costas Chronicles. Okay. Well, maybe I'll wait for Netflix to pick it up. I don't know. We'll see. It's a weird title, I'll say that. But why don't we get on to our very special segment, You Just Got Stumped. Yes, of course. You know what this is. If you're no stranger to the after show here on AfterBuzz TV, You Just Got Stumped. You basically just got to say, what was your stumped moment in this episode? What was it, y'all? Because there are so many twists and turns. I know it's hard to keep track of everything. That's why I love it. It's a roller coaster. That's why I love this show. It's something new and fresh every single week. So let me know in the comments below, what was your stumped moment of the week? I have a couple, but my number one. Okay, I was saving this for y'all. The introduction to Tookie's wife, Laura. Yep. Okay, let me just say this. Laura was a bombshell, okay? Tookie has a banging wife. She's beautiful. I was like, okay, Tookie. Yes, Tookie. All right, Tookie, get it. Laura, get it. But what stumped me about Laura was the comment Tookie made to her at the party, because she showed up. Yes, you remember this. I didn't forget about this, y'all. She showed up to the party for Octavia. And like I said, she was looking banging. She had like this nice little, like, her like, I think she had some like cleavage showing, and she had like that tight painted on skinny jean look. Okay. Her hair was did. And Tookie took notice of this. He said, "Oh, all that look for a book club, Laura?" And that read to me as, oh, okay, there's a storyline here brewing. It definitely took me for a loop. So I think I might be predictions. I'll save that for predictions, but that definitely stumped me. But there were so many other great stump moments, like just kind of, I wrote a couple more down. Maribel. Oh my gosh, Maribel. Okay, let me just say that because I did forget to talk about Maribel. Maribel, this was a hard scene to watch real quick. I'm so sorry. Because this definitely hit home for me. Dex, the episode ended with Dex going to confront Maribel. And Maribel is her aunt. And she's the last tie to her parents, basically. It's her aunt's from her mom's sister, basically. So she goes to confront Maribel in LA, because Maribel's in LA. And she didn't recognize Dex as her niece. She recognized Dex as her sister, Dex's mom. And so she was basically suffering from dementia. And it was so sad to see, because this character, Maribel, who's suffering from this mental, illness of losing her memory and, what's going on in chronological time and whatnot, because that's what happens. You get the whole chronological order of your life is all estrewed and it's messed up. And it was so sad to see this character is also being forgotten. She's basically living in a home, with no one. Her family's not there. Dex visited her. This is the first time she saw Maribel in like 5 years, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. But, you know, Maribel was so afraid of Dex leaving her in that scene at the end. And Dex said, no. Despite Dex being very teary-eyed, she said, no, why don't we just stay here for a while? You know, because I think Maribel is used to people leaving her, you know. That's something that she can remember, which was so freaking sad. It was so terrible. And it's such a sad thing for people to deal with, a loved one who's suffering from dementia or Alzheimer's. It's one of the most heartbreaking things that anyone can go through, whether you're suffering it from yourself or whether you love someone that's suffering from it. So very sad. And it's also, you know, she tried to find out where her parents were, Dex, but because Maribel doesn't remember really anything, that was like her last tie. So, but Dex is good. She's a crafty one. She will find out the whereabouts of her parents because her parents are still living. I forget that her parents are still living, but they are. They're on the run for some reason. I don't know, but get those predictions running.
Also, just one real quick thing. ER's grandpa says their stump was Gray taking the gun down because he's no dummy.
Oh, see, that was a good one, too. That was a very good one, because I thought there was some storyline brewing ER's grandpa. But they stumped us. They stumped you and I both. But I really loved this episode. It was so great, funny, touching, heartwarming, roller coaster, new characters, new setting. So only next week. Next week, you have a lot to live up to with episode 16 for Stumptown. But why don't we get on to some news from Stumptown? Okay. You know, I am a major dog lover in my real life and in my AfterBuzz life. And of course, Stumptown, they are all the cast and crew. They are dog stands as well. So I just want to shout out to a Instagram post. Stumptown's newest wonderful furry friend, Lacey, who is a cute little puppy. For anyone, if you're listening to this, she's this cute little puppy. I'm not sure what breed she is. Vito, I don't know if you know what breed this is.
I'm pretty sure she looks like a pit.
Does she?
Yeah, She looks like a pit mix, probably a lab pit mix.
I can see that. Well, we love our pits. We love our lab mixes. Anyways, a crew member, shout out to the amazing crew at Stumptown, by the way, actually saved and rescued Lacey, and they named her Lacey because I believe they were shooting at Lacey Studios. So I mean, heck yeah. And they just Jennifer, she didn't want to give her up to the shelter, and she said, you know what, we're gonna adopt Lacey. So she's the newest, basically cast member, crew member at Stumptown, and we have some cute pictures. If you're listening, you just need to go to Stumptown on Twitter or Instagram and check out Lacey. Lacey just needs a new Instagram. Like, give this dog an Instagram because she is so cute. So, I mean, we got our news. Shout out to Lacey. I want to see Lacey in a future episode of Stumptown. But why don't we get on to some predictions?
Your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
All right, y'all. Get those predictions going. Like I said, I already said this. Dex and Gray are still in LA. Judging by that preview, they're getting a little closer. Like, not just as friends, but physically they're getting closer. They were on a bed. I don't know if they stopped at some rinky-dink motel. But I think what's going to happen next week is that Dex, despite her not getting the full information from Maribel, she's still going to have some kind of way of tracking her parents down. I think she thinks her parents are still maybe in LA, or maybe there's some other stop she needs to go to in order to find out the full whereabouts of her dad and mom. But I think her and Dex, or her and Gray, are going to have some, you know, fun, sexy times at that motel. Ooh, sounds a little rough. But
yeah, they're fighting.
But I mean, you know, whatever floats their boat. But also, I think Laura, I'm predicting this, I think Laura's cheating on Tookie. Yep. I don't know if everyone caught that, but I think she's cheating on him. She's not going to the book club. She's telling Tookie that she's going to the book club. No, she's probably, I don't know what she's doing. Okay, but she is not going to no book club. I don't know if she's going to some man's house. I don't know if she's trying to get some extra money somewhere, but there's some storyline that we're not seeing. I don't know if the writers are trying to stump us for another you just got stumped moment. I don't know, but my first guess, I know it may be too predictable, but I think she's cheating on Tookie. Also, where's my girl Cameron? Where's the lieutenant? Where's Cosgrove? I miss her. She had a connection with Tookie, so I'm wondering if she's gonna I don't know if she's gonna have a future storyline with Tookie, especially helping him track down the whereabouts of her wife. I don't know. It's really interesting, but you guys got to let me know your predictions and what's to come on Stumptown. Episode 16, this show just keeps getting better and better. But like I said, like, subscribe, share with your friends on Facebook or Instagram. You know, we have friends everywhere. Twitter, why not? And also, like I said, 5-star review on iTunes, and we will shout you out. I'm your host, Ollie Drennan. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Ollie Dreamer. And until then, we'll be back next week with a full panel. See you guys later.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.